RPM is back with the Toshiba Tarmac Championship opener, the Buy and Sell Circuit of Ireland. It's a Subaru showdown as the very latest in World Rally Car technology takes to and off the Irish lanes.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series of RPM, and we start with the best known rally in Ireland. It is of course the Buy and Sell Circuit of Ireland. There has been an unprecedented entry of World Rally cars and a really class field.
The Toshiba Tarmac Rally Championship has been described as the richest one-make rally series in the world. Rich as its multi-million-pound lineup of exotic rally cars completely outclasses any other European national championship. Join us over the next 6 months as the fastest men in the most sophisticated machines tackle the challenge of tarmac as we take you to the Fermanagh border country, Killarney, Donegal, the Scottish borders, the Isle of Man and Cork on the greatest rally roller coaster in Northern Europe. For the second year, this great event is based in one of the hubs of Irish rallying, Enniskillen. And let's not forget that it's thanks to people such as the late Bertie Fisher that the Circuit of Ireland buzz is back. The crowds have come in their multitudes as the sun shines on the 120-strong field. The greatest free show in the land takes off at St Angelo Airfield. One pilot who'll be hoping to stay at the forefront of Irish rallying, having changed from a Toyota to a new model Subaru, is Austin McHale. 20 years ago, an HSR Chevette was a very different motor car to today's WRC. But it was then that Austin chalked up the first of his 5 tarmac titles in a spectacular career, which has taken him right through the Manta, M3, Celica and WRC eras. But why does this rally legend still compete?
I think that the Tarmac Championship, the Irish Tarmac Championship, is one of the best championships in the world. I think everybody's realised that now, and I think that the entry that's here for the start of the Circuit of Ireland and for what's going to be the championship overall is second to no championship in the world.
And the man who's been at the top of this championship for the past 2 seasons, Andrew Nesbitt, is hoping his late entry, number 7, will be lucky for the 2nd year in a row, this time in a McKinstry Subaru. But the Armagh man's latest adventure has been off the stages and onto the racetrack at Kirkeston. The Tarmac champion made an excitable racing debut.
This is brilliant. Get out there. Yeah. Go on, out of my road. Yes, baby.
Making up 8 places in 4 laps, Andrew starred in the Punto race, although at times it seemed he couldn't wait to get off the tarmac. But there's no questioning his motivation for the first Toshiba tarmac round.
You're the Tarmac Rally champion twice in a row, so why do you keep coming back?
I just love the sport and I love competing with the likes of Austin McHale and McGarrity and all these guys. They're absolutely super people and it's our sport and we just love competing against each other.
Many feel that the writing's on the wall for Derek McGarrity's first Tarmac Championship win, but the glorious new 2002 spec S8 Subaru will have to outshine a host of Tarmac stars including Eamon Boland, Galway winner Eugene Donnelly, newly Subaru-equipped Peter Herson, and a pensive Morris Gass in his ex-Richard Burns car. Secretary of State Paul Murphy drops the flag as one of the greatest Irish drivers of all time. Austin McHale sets off for what promises to be one of the greatest Circuit of Irelands of all time. Stage 1 at St Angelo Airfield is a spectator extravaganza, but Austin is using every inch of the wide track as he slides the new S7 Subaru in characteristic style. But now it's onto the rail stages, the narrow, bumpy, slippery back roads, designed originally for a horse and cart, not a 350 horsepower World Rally car. This is what makes Irish rallying so challenging and unique. It's only Austin and Brian Murphy's second outing since the switch from their long Toyota association. Austin won in his first outing in the Circuit of Kerry national event, and after the first 3 stages, the Sanyo Subaru is flying in 3rd place. No stranger to Subaru power, and the man responsible for bringing many of the machines into Ireland is Derek McGarrity, who's drafted Chris Patterson into the hot seat at the last minute. The Glengormley driver has sensationally slashed 3 seconds out of everyone on the short blast round St Angelo. He holds a 5-second lead after the first 4 tests. One driver a little astonished at McGarrity's St Angelo time is Eamon Boland in his identical S8 Subaru, but Eamon knows that 3 tough days in rallying lie in store. Getting it tough already is Eugene Donnelly.
Care, bridge, square right.
Brakes got off on this.
Slip, caution, 5 left, turn immediate, square left.
Tires.
Square left here. 135 right.
Added to this, he's having problems hearing co-driver Paul Kelly's pace
Small
notes.
jumps,
But the
170 here
Macara
over
man
bump
is
six,
certainly not cautious here on
170 after
stage
this.
3,
Slight left
Ballyray.
over crest, Care. Slight left over crest, flat crest. Okay. 60, small jump bridge, okay. 150.
Eugene lies 5th after 4 tests, just under 2 seconds behind Eamon Boland's newer machine. Talking of new, Peter Herson has finally moved into World Rally Car machinery and is 4th fastest on the first stage, despite feeling unwell. But a spin on the second run at St Angelo will drop him to 9th. Andrew Nesbitt knows that his machinery is 2 years behind McGarrity and Boland's, but it's also an indication of Derek's pace that despite driving like this, Andrew drops 3 seconds to him on the St Angelo test. Onto the real stages though, and Nesbitt is on maximum attack. That 100-mile-an-hour slide is an indication of his commitment, but still he's only a frustrating 0.1 of a second faster than Derek on stage 2. But just watch this. We're in 6th gear at over 120 miles an hour. The road is getting narrower and jumpier. Andrew doesn't lift, and it pays off as he slices 2.5 seconds off Derek's lead to bring it down to just half a second after 3 stages. Tim McNulty looks to be settling in well, but his S7 Subaru is hampered by gear change problems. Another driver to have stepped up his championship assault is Morris Gass in his identical car. Co-driver Jeffrey Orr's on the notes, and McKinstry Motorsport is running the car this weekend. Morris might just be a gear too high here though, but he consolidates 6th place, 22 seconds ahead of McNulty. Newcomer to the Tarmac Championship is Welshman Gwyn Jones, but his son Gareth is stealing the limelight. He's driving an older model Subaru, and it's one of the rally highlights. Jay Jordan is a circuit regular and leads his class, as Dan McCartan's Celica is about to run into problems. But Paddy White and Jim Crozier are both impressing as they nip their way closer to the top 10. With 100 cars still running, any vantage point is taken for the second loop as the real Circuit of Ireland kicks off. But little do these fans know that Derek McGarrity's chances will look even brighter as Andrew's chances of catching the yellow Subaru take a nosedive at St Angelo Airport. On Daisy Hill too, Derek looks smooth and controlled and is second fastest, despite the car hopping about a bit at the back. But here on Ballyray, Derek makes his first mistake. The spin is harmless, but this time loss should let it determine Nesbitt into the lead as Derek drops 20 seconds to Andrew in this test. But he's still happy.
Very good, very happy with the car, and it's just getting used to the paddle gear change and stuff. And when we spun it there, it was just a gathering match to know what to do.
Andrew, though, has had a disaster, jumping the start at St Angelo and picking up a minute penalty. He must be raging.
Middle right, 7 left, 7 over, travel jump 24 through the farm. Travel jump 24 through the farm. Wipe out. Right very early. Square left 24, 24, 24.
He pulls 12 seconds off Derek on Daisy Hill and 20 on the next test. But it's progress that's beginning to worry co-driver James O'Brien.
Double jump 26 defence, double jump 24 into 3.
Just watch the Armagh driver's speed on these daunting jumps. The Subaru's approaching 130 miles an hour and Nesbitt isn't lifting one bit. The cross member is bent on the jump. Caution seems to have been thrown out the window. And co-driver James O'Brien realises the car still has to last for 2 more days.
And it's back off down here, Andrew, please. Mind my neck. Raz right side, treble jump 26 through depth 26. Middle right. Middle right 14, over jump 24. Up. Right 9, over double jump 20 through the depth. Back off. Back off. Back off. Square right 24 on the best here. Left 24. Left 24.
Just try to up the pace a little bit, you know. So
Has it worked?
So yeah, so far it took a half a minute back, 2 stages.
Eamon Boland has had a much less dramatic day as he finishes in 4th, but Nesbitt is just 6 seconds behind and closing. More importantly though, McHale is 3rd, only a scant second in front. But it could have been more for Austin as once again St Angelo plays a part in the leaderboard. Austin's error is Eugene Donnelly's gain. His bad tyre choice and intercom problems behind him, he's set 3rd fastest on Daisy Hill 2 and 2nd fastest on Ballyray 2 to finish the day 2nd. But it's the stunning Pirelli Matcon Subaru though that leads at the end of the day. The will of bad luck that has haunted the Belfast team stay away. And with Andrew Nesbitt just 35 seconds behind, can Derek keep this fast, measured drive under control on Sunday's arduous Southern Test? The Circuit of Ireland moves south for day 2, with 8 stages totalling 70 stage miles based around the tranquil Loch Allen. But even before the stages start, there's drama, as a severe bout of food poisoning has left Heather Herson unable to take the start. The sun is still shining on the rally fans as the action starts on the 8.5-mile Lochbow test. The psychological battle between Derek McGarrity and Andrew Nesbitt is truly on, and Derek gains an early advantage as he replies to Andrew's new pace by snatching a vital second. It's an early warning that closing those 35 seconds will require total commitment from Andrew, but the pressure's also on Derek to stay in front. Austin McHale in 3rd is also still a threat and is clearly loving his new car. Austin's hard work on this stage though is about to unravel on the hairpin. The time loss is painful as the engine stalls and then coughs into life again. But this will become insignificant at the end of the stage as the Subaru's engine bay fills with smoke. Brian Murphy grabs the fire extinguisher.
We had a fire, an engine fire, so it is at halfway through, 3/4 way through the first stage. So we did the last stage, we didn't use the response from the last stage and we got over that okay.
Do you think you can continue?
Yeah, we've dropped too much time though, we've probably dropped the best part of a minute with it, so we've seen it.
Austin hasn't been the only Subaru with engine problems, but Eugene Donnelly's difficulty was that his Subaru wouldn't fire. The Macará man is now subject to a penalty for pushing his car out of an overnight halt, costing him 4 places, and Eugene's motivation has also taken a severe knock.
Yesterday we had an up and down sort of day. We were up and down the leaderboard like a yo-yo, you know, and to finish up second last night was fantastic. We were on a great high, like, and set us up for a good day. But unfortunately, this just happened, and you can't change these things. So it's a case of weighing it up. You know, it's just a case of weighing it up whether it's worthwhile to continue or not. We're kind of talking about doing the next 2 stages and see what happens.
Eugene decides to continue as he starts the second run over Lochbow, but his luck is about to take a very nasty turn. The EnviroCare Subaru has made an almighty attack on the scenery and is now blocking the stage. From inside we can see that Eugene has just run a fraction wide and the consequences are catastrophic. Enthusiastic spectators are quickly on the scene to right the car. The stage is made passable. The Harper Subaru will go no further, and it'll be a rally Eugene will like to forget as his circuit hopes are marooned on Lochbow.
Well, basically we come into that left-hander there and there's a wee bit of a rise on it, and the car just obviously got light at the front. I didn't think it was going too hard. I just understeered into the bank and turned over. We were just trying to hang in there to maybe see if something would resurrect through as the day went on, you know, with other people's misfortunes, but obviously it's our misfortune that we stayed here, you know, so that's it, day over.
Nesbitt is in flamboyant form this morning over Lochbow and is the best so far at the tight hairpin. But on the Erigna test, he loses 35 seconds. As the turbo boost dies, it was like driving a 1300 Escort, said Andrew, and it's now dropped him 1 minute and 12 seconds behind Derek.
We lost the boost pressure and it left the engine without any power. We were basically like a little 1300 Escort driving through the stage, and it happened probably 1 or 2 miles into the stage, so we drove the best part of it with absolutely no power.
It's like yesterday all over again, as Andrew is now over 1 minute behind in 3rd place, but he's decided to go for it. But just an inch further here could spell disaster. Can it last? Amid all the drama, Eamon Boland now finds himself in 2nd place, albeit almost 1 minute behind McGarrity. And there's been drama for Maurice Gas this morning in the Emo Subaru. Eugene Donnelly's retirement moved him into 5th. The tough 12-miler Rigna test is to prove painful for Maurice. A stall on the start line has dropped the Armagh driver 30 seconds. And then this overshoot also proved to be very costly. Exciting for different reasons was 22-year-old Welshman Gareth Jones, whose spectacular driving was taking him up the leaderboard until a 9-minute off on the Arigna hairpin spoiled his run.
I've set my own pace and I've stuck to that, and I'm quite happy.
What do you think of the circuit?
Fantastic. The stages are awesome and the pace of the top boys are out of this world.
Gareth decides to pull out to concentrate on the Pirelli rally. The family honour is held by Father Glynn. Tim McNulty won't be taking any honours on this event, however. His ex-Derek McGarrity Subaru has had a fairly substantial argument with a bridge on the previous stage.
You've come quite a way like this, have you?
Happened on the last stage, Plum. We're just trying to get through to the end of the stage. We have to stop and keep putting water in it. Hopefully we get to service, you know. Just went off on a gravelly K right and just front-ended it, but we got away late enough. We've only a burst pipe actually rather than a rad, so hopefully we get to the end of the stage now and get into service. But we're well down the rankings now, but we'll try and keep going and see can we finish.
Tim runs out of water, but Jay Jordan's run out of gears.
This is low. Broken gearbox.
And Paddy White nearly runs out of road. Maurice Gas has put this morning's problems behind him, and as we can see here, it's a less dramatic run on Arigna. He's just over 1 minute down on Eamon Boland in 4th. Eamon started the day in 3rd, but Austin McHale has really speeded up in the afternoon. In car with Austin and Brian, and we're on a charge. Austin has just taken his first fastest time of the rally on stage 12, Onboard River, and he'll finish the day with just 7 seconds over Eamon. For a man who was nearly out this morning, it's been a very fruitful afternoon. The battle for the big prize, however, between McGarrity and Nesbitt has been the talking point of the day. It was a very bright morning for Derek McGarrity as he sets fastest time on the opening stage. Andrew's problems on Arigna really open the gap. And Derek keeps the pressure on to pull another 1.3 seconds on Lockbow 2. And 2.8 on Arigna 2. Is Nesbitt starting one of his fightbacks? He slashes 11 out of Derek on the very narrow Owenmore River test. 6.7 on Yellow Rivers. The time's running out with the second Owenmore River test cancelled. Now, with brakes fully restored, Andrew snatches another 9.3 seconds on Yellow Rivers 2. Again, it's the yellow peril at the top, but with the sunshine due to retreat on Monday, it could be a chance for Andrew to capitalise. 3rd place is also far from settled. Monday's 8 stages total 63 miles, and it looks as though the crowds will be kept on their toes as the skies are totally unpredictable. Tyre choices will be critical, and Andrew Nesbitt will be hoping that Derek picks some wrong ones. Derek is still in a sunny disposition as once again the first stage of the morning he clips 1.5 seconds off Andrew. The opening Dudgeon Bridge test was bone dry, and just a skiff of rain after the roads being dry for so long made the following Ross Hill test quite slippery. Derek dropping just 0.5 second in this shortened stage. Andrew's massive attack on the early morning test has been thwarted by his Subaru rival. The stage miles are rapidly running out, and a further blow is the cancellation of stage 18, list 2. With over 45 seconds to make up, it seems a risky business to chase Derek. There's still a lot to play for in the battle for third though, as Austin McHale has just lost the place to Eamon Boland on stage 17, and he attacks the jump hard on stage 19. The landing has damaged the rack. And further down the test, Austin is about to have a very lurid moment.
Keep her at it.
It's been a bad morning for the Dubliner, and he now finds himself 17 seconds down to the Wexford man after being 1 second up this morning. Eamon has driven a neat and intelligent rally, keeping out of trouble and hoping that the leaders hit problems. Behind Eamon and Austin, Morris Gass and Jeffrey Orr have found a new turn of speed on the slippery stages, and Morris records second fastest time here on stage 19. The Armagh driver is continually improving. His problems yesterday cost time, but his 5th place now looks secure. And Derek McGarrity's lead is about to become secure with 3 stages to go. The wisp of smoke from the Rutledge car signifies that the power steering has gone. As we can see, wrestling with a 350 horsepower WRC on wet tarmac is hard work. Glyn Jones finishes 10th overall. While Morris Gass will be well pleased with his progress, his 5th place finish is a solid start to the championship campaign. The battle ahead of him is just about to be decided. With 3 stages to go, Eamon has an 11-second cushion over Austin, but the Wexford driver makes his only mistake of the weekend, spinning between 2 banks. The delay drops him 15 seconds to Austin, who was fastest. Eamon slips to 3rd, just 3 seconds behind McHale.
Quick right.
It's down to the wire as Austin slides to the end of the last test to claim 3rd by just 1.4 seconds after 200 stage miles. Nesbitt finishes 2nd, and that doesn't happen often. But the Circuit of Ireland 2003 has been all yellow, as Derek McGarrity and Chris Patterson win with a superb drive from the front of the field. Derek has produced a winning package as he arrives at St Angelo, where he took the lead 3 days ago and never lost it. It's a very emotional victory as the McGarrity motorsporting dynasty, including his late father Patsy, came from these parts. Patsy was 5 times Formula Atlantic racing champion, but not only that, was Irish motorcycle road racing champion and finished 3rd at the Monza Motorcycle Grand Prix in 1967. Now his son Derek has won Ireland's most famous motorsport event.
It's been fantastic. I was actually speaking to him a few times today myself.
Was he thrilled?
I think he was, yeah.
It was the most uneventful rally for you.
Well, yes it was, because usually, as you know, with me it's usually quite fraught, and we just drove round, stayed out of trouble, and it was quite easy.
And what's next?
Win Killarney, of course.
So Derek McGarrity and Chris Patterson go to the top of the championship table after the first round, with Andrew Nesbitt and Austin McHale in 2nd and 3rd. The Subarus have it all their own way in the World Rally Car field, but in Group N, it's the Mitsubishi Evos that are the Japanese giants in the class. Group N is often referred to as the showroom class, but in reality these cars are as carefully prepared as the WRC models. One of Ireland's top rally talents, Niall McShay, is progressing his career in Group N on the world stage.
We're just back from New Zealand on Wednesday morning, Clem. So I had a fantastic time out there. It was one of the best rallies I've ever done.
And you were in the points?
Yeah, we got 2 points there. Some punctures on the Sunday dropped us back quite a bit, but we really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed the event.
The only thing similar to New Zealand today is the Enniskillen Sun, as the Toshiba Group N runners will be fighting to put points on the map in their championship quest. The main production players have lined up for the 450-mile route, and at number 10, 1999 Group N champion Seamus Leonard. Then there's Tipperary's Roy White in the first of the Mitsubishis.
It's huge. There's any one of the top 8-10 guys here can all win Group N, all on their own merit. So it's all set for a fantastic race. I'm really looking forward to it.
The Mitsubishi Army is further backed by former racing driver Dickie Curran's DGM car, while his son Michael is a former world champion. Yes, last year he beat over 100,000 contestants to win the WRC Video Game Challenge final held at the Corsican Rally. And Dave Richards handed him the keys of a brand new Evo 7 road car, which this weekend he's traded for an Evo 6 rally car. Back to the big game, however, and in another Evo 6 is championship newcomer Andrew Stewart.
Well-experienced competitor, but really playing with the big boys this round.
Yeah, it's a suck it and see. You know, they're all quick, they're all really quick, and Seamus will be the pace setter, you know, so hopefully we'll be there.
At 16 is last year's national Group N champion and son of Austin, Aaron McHale.
Top 10 to 20 now is nearly all Group N, and every one of them is very strong. But there's a couple of the local boys I reckon will be quick here this weekend.
With so many top crews in similar machinery, the Group N Championship is hotter than the St Angelo weather. Many of these names could be adorning the World Rally car ranks in future seasons. The future which now lies ahead for Seamus Leonard is 3 days of intense competition, as the former circuit Group N winner stands between a Mitsubishi massacre of the top placings. Second fastest on St Angelo, fastest on the next test, and second fastest on stage 3 puts the Oma driver second. But his big rival from last year, Roy White, is right on the pace and sets a sensational time on stage 3 to move ahead of the hard-trying Seamus. It's a pace that's very fast very early, but so is Dickie Curran, as the former racing champion recorded a time 7th fastest overall, and a full 2 seconds up on Seamus Leonard in the opening St Angelo stage.
2, 1, go! Long 4 left.
It's a fresh start for Andrew Stewart and Fabian McShane, who starred in the recent Ballinaur national stages, as their assault on the top Group N series begins. A missed gear at St Angelo drops them a second, but here in stage 3, he almost misses this square right junction.
Fast square right here, don't cut.
Still, they're 5th in Group N, and that's in spite of some niggling problems. Dropping more than a couple of seconds early on, though, is Aaron McHale, whose problems are really niggling him as the new engine isn't lifting as it should. It's been an incredibly busy year for Sean Gallagher as the 23-year-old Donegal driver tackles the British and French Peugeot Cups. Just ahead of Sean is local favourite Raymond Johnson, who's had an impressive run today. Not making a big impression on the leaderboard is former Group N champion Tony Kearns, whose wrong choice of rubber has left him 7th. But Willie Fannin falls right off the leaderboard as the Evo grinds to a halt on day 1. And on this corner, 2 of the Group N runners nearly fall off the road. Michael Curran locks up. And there's no reset button if you go off in real rallying. Derek Job approaches even faster and locks up comprehensively. But Charlie Maviti has to resort to the handbrake as he lands over the blind crest about 20 miles an hour too fast. The pace in Group N is very fast from the outset, and Conor Byrne's efforts to keep up in the older Evo 4 are producing some hairy moments. And this is just the start of a dramatic weekend for Conor. Back home from England, Dermot Hanifin, with top-flight co-driver Michael Gibson on the notes, is embarking on a full championship assault in the ex-David Higgins Subaru. This assault on the hedge is very minor, as is a third-gear problem at present.
Okay. 200.
The spectators are delighted to see this exceptional Group N battle, and so too young Letterkenny man Sean Gallagher, whose last-minute deal to drive the Davy Greer Evo is going very smoothly. Rory Kennedy guides him into 6th place. Raymond Johnson is more usually seen on the Northern Ireland Rally Championship, and he holds a 6-second advantage over Sean Gallagher. Just a mere 6 seconds ahead is Andrew Stewart. His early morning niggles are behind him and he's trying to make back time, but this little indiscretion will cost him. It's got him fired up though, as he's 3rd fastest on stage 5 and 2nd fastest on stage 6. From outside, the Evo looks smooth and controlled, but as this shows a split second late on the brakes and the ditches are waiting. Again, it's only seconds on what has been an impressive championship debut. It's mistakes like these that have allowed Dickie Curran into 3rd. But just watch as Dickie takes a right-over jump flat out. It's a mistake that could have proved terminal.
This is supposed to be a long rally and we're supposed to be taking it easy. I don't know.
Is that in your vocabulary? Take it easy?
No. It's hard to even get the words out.
At the front of Group N, though, it's last year's battlers Seamus Leonard and Roy White. 18 seconds separate them. Roy took a staggering 10 of them off the Subaru on the second Ballyrea test.
You're obviously very happy today.
Yeah, delighted. The car is running faultlessly. Everything has just been spot on, no complaints.
It's the big day on this year's circuit as the rally moves south into the southern stages. Roy White may be ahead, but he's playing a risky game as these modified production cars have to withstand 2 more days of torture. Roy starts in scintillating form on Lochbow as he slides through the hairpin. And amazingly, it's Seamus Leonard who hits trouble on the following Erigna stage.
In all fairness now, Roy's driving very, very well. We've had a problem on the first stage and this stage. We blew the turbo on it. So I think now we're down about 58 seconds to Roy now. So we have it all to do.
Dickie Curran is now in second, but that looks far from secure as Andrew Stewart takes 5 seconds off him as he leaps over the opening Sunday test. But it's all to no avail.
3 left over crest, watch it, and 3 right over gravel, watch it. Absolute crest up middle, whoa!
We were back on the pace yesterday evening and this morning, and then our gearbox gave up, so we just haven't time to change it.
These short services just don't lend themselves to that?
Absolutely not. It takes 40 minutes and we've only got a 20-minute service, so unfortunately we're out.
Fellow Donegal man Sean Gallagher is on a spectacular charge, taking a couple of fastest times. It's progress that has already swallowed up Raymond Johnson and Richard Bell. But Tony Cairns, who was starting to make spectacular progress, will shortly retire. From start number 103, Keith McIver has certainly made good progress in Group N. He's 7th. And Sean Devine's not too far behind his new model ProDrive Subaru. That's better than Willie John Dolan as he quickly runs out of gears on Lochbow 2. Back out in the afternoon sunshine, Seamus Leonard, now 4th in Group N, is trying to make back lost time. But the top Subaru Challenge will fall to pieces, like his gearbox on stage 15. And we lose a climbing Tony Cairns. There hasn't been one glitch in Roy White's drive so far, and today he's been fastest over 4 of the 7 stages to hold a 40-second lead over a charging Sean Gallagher at the end of the day. The leaderboard may not have changed greatly, but on the final day, the weather has become unpredictable. The pressure is very much on Roy White to stay in front, with 40 seconds to keep over 63 stage miles, and he's yet to encounter any problems. On the opening Ross Hill test, Roy adds a mere half a second to his margin, as Sean Gallagher has rapidly adapted to Group N. On the second stage, the pressure looks to be on Gallagher, not Roy White, and he's lucky to escape a high-speed overshoot. But it drops another 7 crucial seconds to the Tipperary driver. If Sean Gallagher was lucky, then Easter Stages runner James Gillen was more than unlucky. Fortunately, James and co-driver Victor Carruthers escape any injuries. Happy with their progress so far are Dermot Hanifin and Michael Gibson as they work their way further up the Group N race. Dermot is still learning 4-wheel drive, having switched from a front-wheel drive Proton that he used to great success in the Forest last year. That niggling problem with third gear in the Subaru, though, is becoming much more serious on day 3. Dermot's dream of a circuit finish is over as the Subaru fails to make it up the Ross Hill stage.
Don't brake. In there. Left, 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 left.
Connor and Niall Byrne have kept their aging Evo 4 ahead of more modern Evolutions. It's a drive that's required a lot of commitment, and it's about to go very wrong.
That's what we get for going too hard. That's what we get.
Amazingly, despite the assault on the wall, the car is still driving and will finish the rally. Derek Job jumps higher than anyone as he moves up a place, but he won't climb any higher as Neil McCants and Richard Honeyford steal the next spot. Just 13 seconds ahead of them are Charlie Maviti and Nigel Fraser after 3 days of hard driving. Sean Devine and Sean Lafferty's first outing in the new Subaru ends with 8th in Group N. But Keith McIver's drive very nearly ends on day 3 as the Mitsubishi is seriously out of line at the back. He's lucky to finish a fine 7th, belying his low seeding, only 24 seconds behind Michael Curran and Desi Wilson on the final timesheets. A little less happy with his position is Aaron McHale, whose down-on-par engine has hampered his Group N championship. One of the stars of Group N, though, is Raymond Johnson, with Richard Bell in his similar Evo 6. The local driver has kept up the pace of his Saturday stages throughout the event. Dickie Curran's been second up until today, but he's had to give best to Sean Gallagher. Still, it's a fine 3rd place for Dickie. Sean Gallagher's Group N debut has seen him climb right up to 2nd, setting 3 fastest Group N times on the slippery Monday stages. Most impressive, though, have been Roy White and Greg Shinners, who led from the start to win by 24 seconds.
It was nip and tuck the whole day, and it was a brilliant race, brilliant battle.
Well, it was great to watch. Greg, what was it like from the inside?
It was brilliant. Roy drove very well, didn't put a wheel wrong all weekend. Make a good start to our championship, but Sean pushed us really hard. Great weekend.
Indeed, it's been a great start to the Group N Championship, and with last year's champion Trevor Cathers joining in on the next round, it looks set to be a great year. With a capacity entry of 120 finely tuned rally cars, it's really hard to keep ahead in the battles for Circuit of Ireland class honours. Mind you, the 00 sweeper car seems to be taking his job too literally. In Class 1, last year's winner and rally veteran Harry Cathcart wasn't quite swift enough to catch the eventual winner Pat O'Connor. A very swift man is one of Ireland's top all-time rally drivers, James Cullen, with Reba Graham, who finished 2nd in Class 2, behind Martin Brown and John Paul Kilmurray, who despite a few scary moments had one of the drives of the event to finish 26th overall. A broken clutch ended Marshall Kennedy's challenge for the lead of Class 3, leaving Alan McMahon's lurid Honda to take the honours. And taking the ladies' honours was Lucy Ford Hutchinson, also 2nd in Class 5 behind the Puma of Andrew Hegarty. In Class 6, Works Peugeot driver Gary Jennings was a class act early in the glorious 106 Maxi kit car, but the gearbox cried enough on day 1. Whilst another fabulous kit car was that of Aidan Burke, who crashed out on the final day while in 3rd place. It was to prove a dramatic clash with Keith Parr leading until the last stage, but RPM's Andrew Bush and co-driver Malcolm Thompson had led the class at the end of day 1, until this. This off on a Rigna cost a full 5 minutes, but the Lisburn crew had an amazing recovery drive to take the class by 5 seconds on the very last stage. Despite this slide, Seamus O'Grady took 2nd in Class 7. But Harold Brown and Mark Scullin turned the class upside down and truly leapt into 25th. David Hyland is about to find out that one slight error will turn his world upside down. Amazingly, he was able to continue and finished 4th in his class. Brian Black kept out of trouble to take a well-deserved Class 9 win. While Charlie McCanny is trying too hard to catch early Class 10 leader James Brown. But Andrew Knox almost puts himself right out of the contest. Finally, it's Matthew McCauley and Ambrose Green who eventually win that class. Class 11 was invented to exhilarate the crowd as Reggie Britton drives the beautiful ex-John Lyons BDA Escort in classic taillight fashion. The battle between Reggie and eventual class winner Paul Barrett was a highlight of the weekend. The balance just 30 seconds as the G3 was flung around the stages into 18th overall.
Have you any idea when you're out there how much the crowd are enjoying it?
You can see a few expressions and a few hands waving alright, like, but it adds to the whole thing, you know. Definitely does.
Entertaining whilst raising money for Marie Curie were George Elliott and Keith Boyd. But I don't think Sean O'Connor and Patrick Quinn meant to be this entertaining. Damien McQuaid's Lotus Sunbeam brings back memories of great drivers like Henry Toyvin and Tony Pond as he finishes 20th overall and 2nd in Class 12. Now this car has been the top modified model in the country on many occasions in Eugene Donnelly's hands. Carol Rogers makes it work brilliantly to finish 13th overall.
driven the more modern cars, but it must be much greater fun to drive a rear-wheel drive car.
It's good fun to drive a rear-wheel drive car. When you see the crowds out cheering and roaring at you, it gives you a lift, you know.
So congratulations to Derek McGarrity and Chris Patterson. Derek achieving a lifetime ambition to win the Buy and Sell Circuit of Ireland Rally. And the victory all the more sweet by the fact that it was here in County Fermanagh, his father's home county.